What's up, y'all? It's Tisha the Diva, and welcome back to This Is For My Ladies. So, you all, we have a new season and a new episode, you guys. So, first of all, last week we talked about our first lasting impressions and what that looks like for you. So, pretty much the premise of that podcast episode was about a young lady who decided to gift a gentleman a cigar and a cigar cutter just after 2 days of talking and on their first date. But basically, I just feel like, that's probably how she aligns herself with her needs, things that she requires, things that she wants, part of her love languages. And I was just asking my guests, because I do have a guest on this week's episode of This Is For My Ladies. So before we get into that, Chris, could you just introduce yourself and just tell the audience and the listeners just a little bit about yourself?
How you doing? My name is Chris Moon. Everybody calls me Moon. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. I moved to California around 2016, and I just been pursuing my purpose. I think a lot of us navigate through here, and we all want to find what our purpose is. And I think I've always been one to test what I thought was righteous and test what I was learning from people. And I think that's what made me stand out a little bit from everybody. And I think I always wanted to know why we were learning stuff. Why are we doing certain things? And I would always ask those questions.
That's perfect. So with this season of This Is For My Ladies, season 7, 108 episodes, this season I decided to title In Pursuit of Happiness. My name means happiness. It's Leticia. It means happiness or joyful in Spanish.
Okay.
But so I said I'm in the pursuit of happiness, in the pursuit of finding myself, in the pursuit of finding out who Leticia is. I feel like I've gone by. Well, my cousin gave me like the Tisha the Diva when I was in middle school. She gave me like this little diva chain, and at first it was Ghetto Diva. I just decided to drop the ghetto. But yeah, so I just really feel like I've experienced so much in life. I've done so much, and I even still feel like sometimes I'm in pursuit of what my purpose is. I like to do a lot of things, and I like to, dabble here, dabble there, or, okay, I've done that. What's next? So I found out just something about myself. Like my life path number is number 5. Do you know your life path number?
Life path, what is that?
So they said, with your life path is like the digits that you take from your birthday. My birthday is July 16, 1989. So I'll take 7 plus 1 plus 6 plus like 1, 9, 8, 9. And it gives you like a single digit, or I guess it gives you like a double digit, like 11 or 12 or something. Those supposed to be like master numbers, but mine is a 5. So 5 is adventure, travel, things that, we pursue a lot of things. You know how they say, a jack of all trades, but a master of none, but something is just better than one and all that stuff. So I'm a life path number 5. So I love adventure. I love travel. I don't like staying in one spot at the same time. Once I've, done something or completed something, I probably won't continue with it. I go on to the next thing. So, yeah, so you said that, you live your life with, just in your purpose. How do people find their purpose? People who feel like they're struggling with who they are, what's my purpose, why I was put here. How do you find your purpose, or what angles or avenues do you travel to find that?
So our environment is so powerful, and ignorance is so powerful. And it's like we navigate and we see things and we repeat after what we see. And it's like our environment dictates our path. Should it dictate our path? Or can we decide that we can act a certain way, we can think a certain way, and we don't have to reduce ourselves to these circumstances? Mm-hmm. So with everything around us, how do we stick to ourselves and stick to our purpose with all these things around us? And it's because we changed the pattern of thinking that we have.
Mhm.
We consider things. We work in a way where everybody thrives together. And the first thing you have to do when you want to succeed in anything, you want to be able to find your purpose. You want to be able to feel your spirit
Mhm.
and really be fulfilled. Then you have to sort out what you're putting into your system, and that's from diet to what you're listening to, what you're
Mhm.
watching on TV.
So anything that we consume and put into our bodies and minds.
Hmm.
Okay. And you touched on diet because that's probably like the biggest thing that I wanted to talk to you about. And last week after the podcast, we had a conversation, and it was the quality of thinking. And you said the quality of thinking sometimes is centered around what it is that you digest and what it is that you consume. Basically, sometimes the main thing being food.
Hmm.
So, how do we create the relationship with food, and what is your current relationship with food?
So I've been vegan now for 5 years. January made it 5 years. So
Woo!
I haven't
We need to
had
add the claps right
any meat
there.
or dairy in 5 years, and it's crazy to even think about that. Like I haven't had Chick-fil-A in 5 years.
Mm.
And
Some people probably listen to Chick-fil-A in 5 years.
that
How?
was my shit.
But
Can't believe it. It's still like thinking back, and it's just the more I started to learn about different things, and I call myself a spiritual person.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that they don't follow a particular religion, but they like to call themselves spiritual, and I think we're all spiritual people.
Yes, we are.
So whatever type of faith you need, you stick to that and you use it for what you need. But for me, I think I'm very spiritual, so I considered more about the process of what was going into what I was consuming.
Mhm.
So I would do these things that were normal to me, that I loved, and just me being a thinking person, I was like, why am I always choosing this, or is there a reasoning behind me craving this particular thing? And I started to put some of these things to the test. So I started doing fasts. I started trying different types of diets and everything. And I was the last person that would ever think I would ever be vegan.
Yeah.
Seriously, I know if I can do it, then a bunch of other people can do it. But for me, coming from how I was raised and what I was used to eating and my patterns of doing things, I would have never thought I would be living this lifestyle.
Absolutely.
But it's just you learn so much, and you have to get to a point where you're in a spiritual battle. It's like I know this, and I'm still doing this, so I have to make a decision and figure out if I'm gonna change or I'm continue to remain ignorant to what I know.
Absolutely. So, when we were talking, you said that one of the initial things that caused you to kind of go vegan was, you said when you were younger, your father, you said his pancreas shut down, or
Yeah, so I believe his pancreas shut down. He had to get admitted into the hospital. He was there for about 2 weeks, and at the time, I think I was probably around 13 or so. I didn't know the magnitude of what was going on, and I just thought he would get better, come back home. And my dad is still alive. He's still doing good right now.
yes.
But
What's up, pops? How you
he's
doing?
diabetic, so I had all these thoughts running through my head, like, is this my path just because I'm seeing this particular thing, and I'm living the same way, and we have a lot of the same habits. Is this my path, or can I choose a different path? And do I have to leave his care in the hands of these doctors? Do
Yeah.
they honestly know what's best for him?
Yeah.
Because
And we talked about that, just how you said doctors are just treating the symptoms and not the actual disease, and just the pharmaceutical companies. And, so at this point, once we find out, okay, this is what I have, this is what I've been diagnosed with, not necessarily what I have, because they said that dis-ease is just the dis-ease of, okay, I know a little something, and I know a little something, okay. So it's just like the dis-ease of, a virus, or something that's in our bodies. So when we talk about fasting or, spirituality, you said something that I was just completely blown away. You said that when we start to fast and when we basically purge ourselves of the toxins and everything, it gives our body and our mind a chance to heal the elements in our body, that are, in dis-ease, like in distress right now. So
Yes.
could you please elaborate on that and just share, with the listeners if they're not kind of grasping or, what I'm saying?
Okay. So our bodies are designed to heal themselves, and we never give it a chance to do that. So a lot of people say eating is medicine. There's a Hippocrates says, "Let thy food be thy medicine," and that's what food is designed to do. It's supposed to give us our nutrients and allow us to thrive. But a lot of times, especially today, we're eating the wrong things, and we're told we're supposed to eat 3 times a day, which I think personally is too much. But depending on what you're
The vegan would think that. So I'm just kidding.
exactly what you're trying to do, then eating 3 times a day is too much, because a lot of times what we're eating is not digesting all the way, and it takes a while to digest. You could eat something on Monday and it could still be in your system on Thursday.
Dang.
But we never give our colon, our digestive tract, a chance to clean itself. And with us constantly putting food in there, it creates bacteria build up, and that's what causes colon cancers, a lot of different other cancers. And red meat now has been classified as a group 1 carcinogen, and a carcinogen is anything known to lead to cancer or promote cancer. So what do they, especially, and these habits are being formed before we even have a chance. So like, I'm Puerto Rican and black, and chicken and pork is like in my blood. So to give these things up was definitely a process. But just thinking about the family history, like you said, the dis-ease, does this run in the family, or do the habits run in the family?
I believe it's the habits that run in the family. So I was reading in the 4 Agreements with Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., and he was saying how we as humans are domesticated into religion, food, our lives. We are domesticated because that's how we're taught. Like when we were children, don't touch that. That's hot. Don't eat that. You grew up on meat. You a Christian around here. We were domesticated into that. So that's crazy how literally we don't even have free will even when we're first born. To even choose what it is that we want.
When we're kids, like, we start to cry, and they associate that with being hungry. So when the baby cries, then we say give them this
some
because
milk
they're
or
hungry. So that carries with us our whole life. We grow up and we're young kids. We get angry, or we need to eat. We crave sugar. Oh, to get the kid to calm down, let's give him candy and sugar. And these things are cycles that we've been molded since we were born, since we were first born. When pregnant women often have cravings, they tell them not to smoke, not to drink, but you can eat all the processed meats you want.
Wow, yeah, they don't tell them not to do that part.
And it sucks to try to limit, like I said, someone's their consumption of food and stuff, because it's tied into all these things, culture, tradition, and all that. But there's movements to protect things like obesity, and these things are actual issues that we should be addressing. Like from a biology standpoint, your heart has a job to do, and once you reach a certain point, you put yourself at risk for certain things.
Yeah.
And for me, I'd rather be honest and you hate me for my honesty than for you to love me and I withheld something that could have saved your life.
Saved your life, yeah, absolutely,
or
the truth.
Helped you to thrive in a certain way. Withholding stuff that I know can help you, and I can't do that. I have to tell people what I know and help my people get to another place that we never thought we could get to.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess, like how we were talking about just the relationship that we have with food, and you saying, you being Puerto Rican and black, and so we know you got, the beans and rice, and the pork chop ribs and all that stuff. So how do we change our minds and change our relationship with food if we know that, you know, the processed foods, the meats and all that stuff isn't bad for us. You know, is of course it is tradition, but how do we change our relationship with food, the cravings and all of that different stuff in that nature when we literally have been fed it all our lives?
Okay. So one of the first things that you have to do is you have to say, I'm gonna give something up. So say you want to give up chicken. First you have to learn how that chicken was grown. You have to learn how that chicken was treated. So you can, when you go to the grocery store and make this choice, all these things are like that. It's automatic that you know that this is how this got here. And once we figure these things out, and I'm not trying to say that there's no benefits to eating chicken. So there's definitely positive benefits you can get from eating chicken. There's nutrients you can get. But once you weigh out the adverse effects to the benefits, the adverse effects are way more. So it's like I have another option. I can get my protein from other sources. And the protein we get from chicken or animal flesh is just secondhand. I can go straight to the source and get the protein. But a lot of the times when we get it from animal products, it's protein that animals aren't born with protein in them. They get it from plants. So we're just getting it second.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's like when we were talking about, like, you know, the carnivores and, you know, our intestines. You said that an animal intestines is how long versus the human intestine?
So your typical lion would be like 4 or 5 feet long. And a lot of times I work out every now and then. And,
He said every now and then.
Every now and then.
I'm vegan. I ain't really got to do much. I'm healthy.
But the people in the gym like to refer to themselves as lions.
Yeah, beast and yeah.
But lions only live like 12 years. Why would I want to relate myself to that?
I mean, let me tell you, the animals have it really harder than us. Because if we see a bug, we is going to stomp that thing out. We gonna spray it with a little, some air freshener, can of spritz, a little ocean. Like, that thing is out. It must be hard to be an animal. Because you never know. Like, you literally, like, it's life or death. But yeah.
It's crazy because we refer to our animals as it's a lot of the times, but not our dogs and cats. But we try to take these traits, these different traits from animals, and we're supposed to be a civilization.
Yeah.
So
we're civilized people. They aren't. They don't know work and compassion and care and
That's I actually think they do. So
because I mean they be dying. I mean they be sad when they friends die.
Yeah. So it's
we seen Bambi.
I know that was everybody's first
right.
Movie. But that's where we learning though, and these movies be teaching us real life lessons. You know, where did these lessons come from? But it's a lot of the times we don't consider, or we just because we have dominion over these lesser beings, or we're considered more intelligent, are we supposed to use that power and abuse it? You know? There could be a lot of situations where a lot of our issues are solved if we all make different personal choices. Because a lot of times people say, well, what can I do personally and to change such a big issue? If we're thinking on a bigger scale of world issues, then what can I do personally to combat said issues? And it's changing those personal choices in your life. If we all start with our personal choices and we're all existing in this space, it's like we can all thrive together. We just have to get on the same page. But if 100 million people are all thinking, well, my one personal choice doesn't matter, then that's where the problem comes.
Gotcha.
But what I try to do is connect people back to that life, you know what I'm saying, that love and what can get us all to thrive. Can we all thrive? I think we can, and it's just getting people back in touch with why we're here and what we're supposed to do. All these species, insects and everything, they do a job.
Yes.
And they help the world and the environment. And we disrupt these things because we have dominion.
Yeah, that's like they said, Okay, in college, I had did this whole thing like on bees. I was a communications and a journalism major, and
Okay.
mine was bees. And they were just saying that if there were no bees, like we would die. Like we would literally die from like the bees and all that stuff. And it's just so crazy, like how, like you said, just one little insect, literally can change the whole dominion over a human's life. So
Overall,
that's, I mean, I guess, and that's like the quality of thinking.
that's what
That's
it is.
that's like the quality of thinking of even just understanding that even the things that we don't think about or we don't see literally still plays a part. Like everything is always happening.
For a
Everything is
reason, I think
always
there's a
happening.
reason.
So with the quality of thinking and our diets and food, I wanted to ask you like a couple of questions because we talked about just please talk to me about the sea moss because I love that with the 92 mineral. Now, I'm not even gonna say it. I want him to say it because I thought that was amazing. And veganism versus plant based because some people don't really know the difference. And yes, the fruit. What is it? The
Fruitarian.
fruitarian. So yeah, so we're gonna start with the sea moss, and these are just like the different fasts that people can kind of try. And I want you to. So once we talk about sea moss, I just want you to explain like the different. Well, just go ahead talk about the sea moss because that blew my mind. That blew
So,
my mind.
I first caught wind of sea moss, of course. Dr. Sebi, everybody's made them very popular now. This was years ago before, and what's funny is the person that got me into veganism or looking into it isn't even vegan themselves.
Oh wow.
And this is what I think this particular thing is what convinced me of just the power of spreading awareness and just believing in the power of the individual as well. It's just that somebody can tell you or bring you into something, and I may get the information easier than the next person may get it, and I may be the one to articulate this or relay this type of message to this person. So just because something isn't for me or something I don't get it at first doesn't mean the next person can't and help me out with it as well. So it's like once we come across these new ideas every day, we're learning new stuff. We should tell people about it, and we should have these conversations and really spread awareness and just talk about different issues that people don't want to talk about. So that's what I just wanted to get out there is just
Yeah.
spread that, because it's like that's what we need more of. Is we can't be afraid to communicate new ideas to people, because all this reality, our civilization, is just a collective of ideas. It's pretty much a contract.
Yeah.
You know, it's all these are ideas that somebody had, and people agreed upon the ideas. There used to be wars fought on people's ideologies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're all just collectively agreeing that this is wrong and this is right. And if we all can change the pattern of thinking to lead with love and compassion, that's where we find our purpose, and we fulfill our reasoning for being and existing on this earth.
Damn.
But
I mean,
going back into
woo, like blew my mind.
So,
like, I mean, because people make it seem like finding your purpose is hard.
yeah,
But when you really like just peel back all the layers of, like you said, just being loving and compassionate and just caring, it
That's what it
literally
is.
just kind of like it exposes what your purpose is when you just operate in that.
yeah.
Wow.
So to go back to the sea moss, I tried the sea moss for I think it was 11 days where I just consumed nothing but sea moss. So I made it raw, and you can do it in different types of ways. They got pill forms and I guess like powder forms, all sorts of different ways. I think the best way to consume it is raw
Okay.
and making the gel out of it.
Okay.
But I just tried it because I was curious, and I felt like if I was gonna tell some people to do stuff, mainly my pops, I was trying to get info to my pops and try to help him out in any way that I could. I didn't want to leave his health to these doctors. So I tried different stuff, and I couldn't tell him to do something
that you haven't
that I
put to
haven't
the
tried.
test yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would try everything. I tried the fruitarian, the sea moss, and what I want people to realize too is the foods you eat. A lot of them, especially a lot of health foods, aren't going to be that good. They're going to be hard to get down, and they're
Try to
gonna
mimic
yes.
it. Yeah, because we literally have been used to a consistency or a certain taste, and I think that's just what our mind is. It's just, yeah.
These things are supposed to help us health wise. It's a good food if it's healthy for you. If it's nasty, then that means it has too much sugar or whatever. All these harmful things that it can do to you. But a lot of the times we say we eat health food and expect it to taste like a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
And that's just not possible.
Not even that. That's
But,
not even realistic.
Our palate is so skewed from the things we've been consuming over a long period of time. Once you start to make that transition, it gets easier and easier, and then you can appreciate a lot less of things too, as well, like less salt, for instance, less sugar, and I think you appreciate your food more because you really prepare it for yourself, and you know what goes into it and how it's been. Like I don't have to worry about cutting the throat of some broccoli or something like that. There's a lot less stress involved.
Yeah.
But we consume these different things that have these underlying factors to it, and we don't consider the underlying factor. We just think of the nutrients we're going to get from it. If I ask the average person why do they drink cow's milk, they won't be able to tell me.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say calcium, which is I guess what we've been taught.
That's what they push. Remember that the whole got milk thing and
Exactly.
vitamin D and calcium. They really pushed that, and osteoporosis. I remember them damn commercials.
What's crazy is there's the main people with osteoporosis are the people that consume cow's milk.
Oh my God! Get out!
There's peer-reviewed studies about this too, and the crazy thing is there's a lot of people say there's a study on this, there's a study on that. You want to make sure like you're looking at peer-reviewed studies because there are a lot of studies that are funded by these companies, and it's for marketing purposes to get you to consume more.
Wow.
And the reason why these products are so easily accessible is because they're subsidized by the government.
Yeah.
So it's like we can subsidize broccoli production instead of cow's milk production or meat production, because if it wasn't assisted by the government, then we would be paying $20 just for the burger patty alone.
Yeah, wow. Is the government trying to kill us? Like, are they trying to kill us?
Pretty much. It's a lot of our habits aren't designed for us just to keep it all the way real, and they're just made for. They're not. We adopted these systems. Like if you go to every major city, you see cultural areas. You see Chinatown.
Yeah.
There's like Jewish communities.
Little Italy and all that.
Yes, and a lot of what we do is we adopt these different habits, and that's why I think a typical standard American diet, which is SAD, it's called SAD. I think that
standard American diet, SAD, SAD, is sad.
But that's what we've adopted, and these traditions, like they say soul food. In soul food, Big Mama, she was
slave food.
She was doing it all up.
Slave food.
She had it all. Big Mama, she had diabetes. She had to get the leg chopped off.
Yes.
But
Big Mama, your arm.
Everybody went and still ate the same food.
After.
But
the very thing that killed her. Like, I mean, literally,
she was serving
when you think
up
about
that inflammatory food, and people were just. I don't think it's all about the food when we have these occasions. We can make it more about the camaraderie of people getting together and talking and discussing things. But we don't have to have the same foods. We can adjust things, know. I also related to our technology. We have these new updates in our phones, our computers, our TVs, and we never upgrade our diets when all this new information is coming out. Veganism has been around for hundreds of years, but the difference now is the information that we have. we have access to information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And not all of it is true. You can decide, you can put these things to the test and figure out what works and what doesn't. So that's what I did with those things. It's like if I want to get in a position where I can help somebody, I have to actually try it and see what it's like. And I did my research on things before I got into it and figured out what I knew my body would need to get to a place that I want to go. And I just put it to the test.
Yeah.
And so far, I've helped quite a few bit of people make that transition and make that connection back to where we need to go.
Yeah. So with, like veganism and plant-based and CMOD, like all this stuff, it has been around for a long time. Do you feel that now that people are, we are in the age of technology where people are waking up, people are getting, information, but do you feel like a lot of it is trendy? Because out of nowhere, even with spirituality, I think spirituality kind of became a trend because, the crystals, the chakras, the tarot cards, the vegan, trendy, the CMOS, trendy, Dr. Sabi, always been around.
See, I never
If
liked
that was trying to tell us.
I just got into horoscopes, but I don't like knowing too much. I like seizing the day as it is.
Yeah, seize the day. Okay, carpe diem.
But some of it be too accurate for my liking. But
right, exactly.
But yeah, these things can seem like trends, and it's like I said, you can put these things to the test. There's a lot of people that just tried out veganism for the first time, and then they start to yell at from the mountaintops, "Oh, you need to try this. You need to do this."
Yeah, exactly.
And it can come off as like being pushy or trying to force your views on the people or making people feel guilty for their choices. But I look at it like this: when you're driving from point A to point B, and you see all these fast food restaurants, these billboards, even smells in the air. You can be triggered by a smell.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I was like, my mouth literally be watering. Like,
exactly.
my mouth like,
so,
what is that?
We drive and we're seeing all these things, and these things are playing a role in our psyche, and it's going at us all day. And it's telling us to consume.
Yeah.
We may not even be hungry. We may have food at home.
Yeah.
But
it's always food at home.
We're going to go for that quick option.
Yeah.
And overconsume. And like I said, those are what's causing a lot of issues that we're dealing with now. The leading killer of people is heart disease. Before car accidents, murders, it's heart disease that's killing people. So what causes heart disease is saturated fat, cholesterol, these things that are found in processed foods that we're just consuming 3 times a day. So I try to just, with fasting, all these things play a role in I think health is the most important thing on planet Earth. If we're not healthy, we won't be able to do anything. We can have a ton of money. We can't enjoy the money if
you're not healthy.
If we're in the
you
hospital.
Can't even be wealthy. Do you hear? Because they say health is wealth. Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's like we have to get to that place of putting our health first, because once we make these different decisions, the people around us do better. There's so many people that I never even thought would listen to anything I was saying are starting to make these choices on their own. And that's the fuel for me, is just seeing the progress and seeing that I've made an impact on a positive impact on somebody.
Change their quality of thinking. All right, so if a person wants to change their quality of thinking, if they want to get in contact with you, if they, want to put these things to the test, how do they get in contact with you? How do they reach out to you? What do they do? What do they say? Like, I'm ready to give up the meat.
So they can, I'm on Instagram. My personal is 50K Moon. And Quality of Thinking is at the Quality of Thinking, and also qualityofthinking@gmail.com if they want to email me. And I'm working on a bunch of different projects creatively, so I am well versed in a lot of.
Are you
music.
able to tell us about like a couple of projects, like
so,
share?
A lot of people
with
probably know me from doing music back in the day.
Okay.
So I'm still creating musically. I'm doing a lot of writing now, which has been. It's been very therapeutic for me, because I never put my thoughts out on paper like I have now, and just it really puts things in perspective for you, and really puts it in a physical form rather than just being in your head, and you can really cultivate
You can spell
something from
it.
putting
You
it
can
out
cast
on
a
some
spell.
paper. Yes.
Put it on some paper.
That's what it does. It really works. And yeah, I'm just trying to implement these habits into other people around me, because I like to see people do good. I like to see people smile, and I really get a reward from doing stuff like that. And it may not
Working in your
always
purpose.
be exactly. It may not always be presented how people want to see it themselves, but you can't worry about that. You just have to stick to what you know, and know that you're doing good work, and know that you're going to be there, and you're going to stick to what you know, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what your environment is. You know to stick to what you think is righteous. And all these factors, you can be the difference. You can be the difference maker, the spark that got somebody to go to that next level, and thus we can help all each other, bring each other up. So that's what I love. That's what I love to do.
I like that. I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. And I just think that it is so important, again, in the pursuit of happiness, in the pursuit of myself, to change my quality of thinking center around just my diet and food and things that I put in my body. And, just literally like so simple as just finding your purpose, with just literally starting with your everyday and just wanting and choosing to be a better person, and just I'm going to take the time to just show more love, show more grace, show more gratitude, show more passion, compassion. So and passion, yeah.
It takes a community of people to do it too. So I can definitely try stuff and experiment. And a lot of times I'm so passionate about certain things that I would be the martyr to go out and say, I believe in this, I'm going to try to do this. But it really takes, I can only do but so much alone.
Yeah.
It really takes a team
It really takes
to
a
do
village,
stuff.
yeah.
If you look at a lot of people's stories, like, it looks like they've pulled themselves up out of somewhere, but really there's been people that helped them get to where they are, either by sparking some kind of motivation here or by lending some assistance there. It's like we need something from somewhere, but if we unite, we get together and pull our resources together, then we can accomplish anything.
We can accomplish anything, y'all. Y'all heard that? And that's the quality of thanking people. All right. So, again, just let people know where they can find you, your Gmail, your Instagram handle, and all that stuff.
50K Moon, Instagram, and the quality of thinking at gmail.com. Oh, no, quality of thinking at gmail.com is the email. You can email me there and inquire about consultations. I do different consultations. I have to, for me to work with people, I really have to get to know them and really sit down, and we can figure out a plan of action to get to wherever goals you want to really achieve. So that's the kind of thing.
So they would share like their habits and everything with you.
And we would really set down a course of action to accomplish anything. Like I said, we work together, and then we can get to any kind of goal you really want to reach. And
okay.
That's what I help them do, make that connection to back to where they want to go and where they want to succeed at.
5 years of vegan, people. What's hurting on your body today? Nothing. He's vegan. He's perfect.
That's the thing. We don't have to get sick if we don't want to. And I want everybody to believe that.
Listen,
we
and I don't want to get sick. Ever.
We have more control than what we think, and we can help each other. We can help our parents. There was a time where our parents knew what's best, but as we learn more about the world, then we
know
teach
more
people
than
what's
them.
best.
So
The
words came out of my mouth, not his.
That's
So I'm
true,
just
that's
saying. Well, yes, y'all. So that's all we have today for This Is For My Ladies podcast episode, Quality of Thinking with Mr. Chris Moon. You all, make sure you all reach out to them. If you're at a point in your life where you're just basically trying to figure out, your relationship based on, centered around food and, your purpose, make sure you reach out to him, okay? Definitely get into contact with him. Find a program that works for you, that you're able to stick with, that you're able to be disciplined about, something that you're able to be passionate about, because with discipline and passion, comes great rewards, comes a lifestyle change. And that's what we want for you. I know that's what I want for you. Now, obviously, Chris wants it for you because he's dedicating his life to it. Okay? So, you all, that's all I have for you all today. I am Tisha the Diva. This is Chris Moon. Thanks for tuning to This Is For My Ladies. Make sure if you all have any questions, comics, topics, or any concerns, email them to me at at thisisformyladies@gmail.com. Follow This Is For My Ladies podcast on Instagram and my personal page, Tisha the Diva. That's all I have for you all for this week. Again, I'm Tisha the Diva, and I am out.